Hey YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Resurrect. In this channel we talk about rebuilding salvage cars on your own in a small space or a home-based garage. And today we're talking about framework. Now framework can be very dangerous. So as a disclaimer, if you've never done framework or you haven't had anybody show you the ropes on a frame machine, I do not recommend doing the work yourself. In fact, if you start flipping rebuilt vehicles, I recommend that you stay away from frame damaged vehicles and probably just send them out to shops if you do get a frame damaged vehicle. But after some time has gone by and you get some experience and you want to get into doing framework, or you have somebody that's willing to show you the ropes, or you can get some formal training, I recommend that you invest in your own frame machine. So the question is, why would you want to do your own framework when you can just take it to a shop and have it done? Well, first of all, framework is very expensive. In the past, on a project, I might have spent anywhere between $500 to $1,000 or more per project, depending on the extent of the damage of the vehicle. A second reason why you'd want to do the framework yourself is not every body shop has a frame machine, and the ones that do are super busy. So they're going to have one car on the machine, 3 cars waiting on the side to go onto that machine. Your car will be in fourth, and that car, or your car, will be done. You'll be waiting for the rest of your life for that car to be done, basically. And you know, in this business, devaluation is your enemy. Every day that car is going down in value. So you need to be able to flip these cars as quickly as possible. The third reason why you might want to do the framework yourself is you're not always going to be happy with the quality of work that another shop is going to do when you're paying them cash to do the job. So when you have your own machine, you can kind of take your time with it, sort of, and do the work at a certain level that's good for you. So having your own frame machine has a lot of benefits. So now that we know why you would want your own frame machine, how is it possible to do framework at home? Well, first off, let me show you my first frame machine here. Here it is, right here. It's a tree, good old tree. This is a chain. This is some type of come along or something to pull your frame. Sledgehammer, that's important. And a 4x4. That's about $200 worth of equipment. And let me tell you this, I can pretty much bend any car frame with that. That's gonna be great for building a medieval city. That's how the pyramids were built. You could bend a Ford F-150 frame, a Camaro IROC. That's going to be great. However, if you need some type of precision, if you have a vehicle and you're concerned about how it's going to align, how the wheels are going to align, you're going to want to invest in a frame machine, something that can give you more precise of a pull. So today I'm going to show you what I use, how much it costs, and why it's a good idea to invest in your own frame machine. So here's the frame straightener that I went with. When I was looking for a frame straightener, I really wanted a platform frame machine. However, there is no way I'd be able to use that in my garage. Even if it would fit, it would occupy 100% of my garage, and that's the only thing I could do with my garage is straighten frames. So I needed a frame straightener, and a lot of the ones I looked at had a lot of cool features, but this one had what I was looking for. Now this one's made by a company called 5 Star. They have a website and they do sell on eBay, but it's a pretty good product and it's a pretty good price. They typically run between $3,000 and $4,000 bucks, but you absolutely need something like this when you're rebuilding salvage cars. You just never know when you're going to need it. So let me show you some of the things that come with it. Here are the wheel stands. These come with it, and these are absolutely great because what I do is I set up the frame straightener underneath the car, and I'll typically have it on the lift. So with the frame straightener under the car, I will lower the car onto it, and then I will set up those stands underneath the tires, and that helps me to be able to get underneath. Sometimes I need to remove things like this. I'll have to remove this rocker panel cover, and the lift is obviously blocking some areas that I'll need to get to. So with the car on those stands, I can access anything I need to get to the pinch welds. And here are the clamps. These are the 4 clamps, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really handy to have 4 clamps. There was a few different brands I was looking at when I was looking for a frame straightener. One was called Spider, which looked really nice, but was a little bit out of my price range. And I didn't think that it would fold up as small as this. And then another brand was called Jackco, which did fold up quite nicely, but it only had 2 clamps. And I've worked with other guys on projects where they only had 2 clamps on a frame straightener, and sometimes depending on the angle of the pool, the car would shift and it would make you uncomfortable. So for me, I needed 4 clamps, and this machine has it, so it's exactly what I needed, and that's what I bought. But this is the main hub. This is where all the arms hook up. This is this arm here with the hydraulic ram, and this is the actual tower here, the pulling tower. You can get this thing at a lot of different angles. So you can see here, you just pull this pin out. I can't because it's stuck in there right now, but you can pull that pin out and set this thing up in various angles, as well as there's some other angles here you can do. So you can move this main tower to the left or right and really get a lot of different angles for your pulls. And you can set the height of this if you need to get different angles on the chain. It comes with this chain as well as this attachment here for the chain. It's really handy. This pedal is filled with hydraulic fluid, and you will need compressed air to use this. So you would hook up the compressed air here, and when you push down on this part of the pedal in the front part, the ram goes out, pulls the arm back, and then when you push on this part of the pedal, the ram goes back in. This is a very handy fitting here that you can move to different parts of this steel beam here, and that allows you to pull down on the frame if something is bent up. So that's really great. The only thing I really wish this frame machine had was an attachment up top, and I'm sure they could easily solve that. But if they had some type of crane that could go up top, you know, like a shop crane that you would use for removing an engine. I've seen other frame straighteners out there with a shop crane up top, and that would allow you to pull the frame up if you had something bent down. So that would be really cool if it had it, but it doesn't have it. But that's okay. I couldn't find a straightener that had everything I needed, so this was the closest I could find, and this one works pretty good. It gets me about 90% of the time. It fixes the problem. So here, you know, it's all stored. This is how it's stored against the wall. This is great because that allows me to still get out and not block between the car and the wall. There's still some space here, and it lines up nicely with my my benches here. So let me show you some of the accessories that come with the frame straightener. There is a jack here that's you can hook up your compressed air to, and it's pretty powerful. I think it's like 20 or 30 tons. I have not used it yet. There's various clamps here. It comes with all but one, and these clamps are very handy for attaching to various parts of the frame, frame rails or anything, and you tighten them down and you can get all the pulls you need out of those, and as well as some hooks here. These 2 hooks I use quite often. These are really good, and there's a little chain attachment to lengthen your chain or make adjustments to it. So it comes with all this stuff, and it comes with a cart, but obviously I didn't have enough room to set up a cart in my small garage, so I just took a piece of the cart and screwed it up to the wall and set it up with all these attachments on it. So there you have it. That's everything that's included in this particular 5-star frame straightener. So I've got this frame straightener set up on a BMW I'm working on, and you can see these frame rails are bent. One here and one here. So I'm setting this up so I can straighten these frame rails out, and I have all the angles I need to get a nice straight pull. I need to pull this over to the left a few inches, and so it's all set up right now. So if you ever find yourself using one of these, obviously I don't recommend anybody use a frame straightener or frame machine if you don't have any training. or nobody showed you any safety or showed you the ropes. But just one thing here is if I'm pulling on this frame rail, and let's say I was standing here, and hypothetically this thing slips right off, this thing's gonna fly at a high velocity right towards my leg, and it's gonna go through my leg like Thor's hammer. So that's one thing about this machine. Always remember, when you're pulling that way, be standing over here, because if that thing slips, you put yourself out of harm's way. Alright guys, so just to sum everything up, obviously the best results you're going to get is from a platform frame machine. However, brand new, those will cost you anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 for an entry-level machine. Some of them can get really up there, $50,000 or more. Sometimes you can come across them used for $3,000 to $5,000 on the used market. However, they're going to be really, really heavy. They're going to be difficult to move, and you're going to need a lot of space. So if you don't have the circumstances for that, I highly recommend a frame straightener. The Jackco ones are coming in around $800 to $2,000 or $1,800 to $2,000. The one that I purchased between $3,000 and $4,000, and the Spider ones can be somewhere in the ballpark of $8,000. So depending on your circumstance, if you have the money, obviously the better the machine you get, the better the results on your projects will be. But I highly recommend getting some type of frame straightener or frame machine. It's going to pay for itself very quickly, probably 1 or 2 projects rebuilding salvage cars. So guys, if you like any of these videos, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks for watching.